CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Connor Hogg.
Good evening. A war of words in the legislature today about who knew what regarding a data breach affecting nearly 3 million Albertans. It comes amid calls for a public inquiry into the issue, something the government won't commit to. CTV's Nicole Weisberg has the latest.
The minute we knew about this breach, we called the cops.
He knew. So why didn't he tell the members of this legislature? Why didn't he tell the government?
The leader of the official opposition NDP and Alberta's premier face off in the Alberta legislature about a data breach impacting millions of Albertans. The UCP confirms at least one of its staff members attended an online Centurion Project meeting last month, but say they had no reason to believe the data in question was unlawful.
Someone with decades of experience in conservative politics thought it was totally okay that Jason Kenney's personal information was released to nefarious characters. So can the Premier confirm that's her story?
There was no way for him to know that this data was illegal.
Yes, we are looking at this matter.
At an unrelated event, Alberta's Privacy Commissioner said she should have information to share tomorrow about whether her office has jurisdiction to get involved. She says since news about the data breach broke, her office has received numerous calls.
Well, it's a very serious issue, and Albertans are very concerned.
Political scientist Jared Wesley is among those calling for a public inquiry. He says Albertans need answers before any ballots are cast.
In the case of Elections Alberta, they've, through no fault of their own, become part of this scandal. And so there are questions that remain as to what they knew, when they knew it. All of this and a bunch of other questions remain unanswered and kind of cast a huge cloud of doubt and suspicion around what could be the most important vote that Albertans have cast.
The Premier and UCP ministers say they're going to wait for the RCMP and Elections Alberta investigations to conclude before considering their next move. Wesley fears that won't happen before the October referendum. Nicole Weisberg, CTV News, Edmonton.
Initially, the Alberta NDP said it appeared United Conservative Party President Rob Smith also attended the Centurion Project meeting. The party denies that. It says, quote, Nenshi is using a common name to drag our president through the mud. Rob Smith was never at that meeting, nor has he been at any Centurion meeting. It is a flat-out lie. Prime Minister Mark Carney says his government plans to stay the course with Alberta as the push for a separation referendum plays out.
To continue to act as we have from the start, which is in the spirit of cooperative federalism, making the country work, making it work for Albertans, making it work for Indigenous peoples, making it work for all Canadians.
The group Stay Free Alberta says it has collected more than 300,000 signatures in favor of a referendum on separation. That number still needs to be verified by Elections Alberta. The Prime Minister says legal hurdles must be cleared before the referendum question can be put to Albertans. Those laws were created after the Quebec separation referendum in 1995. Police say a total of 9 women have now come forward with reports of sexual assault after meeting a man through dating apps. In March, police charged William McMullen with multiple criminal offenses. At that time, 4 women had made complaints. At least one woman reported meeting a man through a dating app and going to his home, where investigators believe he drugged and sexually assaulted her. Since then, 5 more women have come forward. McMullen now faces new charges. He's still in custody. Police say there may be more victims in both Edmonton and Calgary. Police have charged 2 teens with assaulting a woman at a bus stop with a fire extinguisher. Police say it happened last month in the area of 64th Street and McConaughey Boulevard. A 66-year-old woman was sprayed while waiting for a bus. The senior and the bus shelter were covered with powder. Police have charged 2 13-year-olds with assault with a weapon. EPS says they're also suspected in 4 other crimes leading to theft and mischief charges. Parkland County says crews have responded to nearly 30 fires since the start of the year. The county says crews are still monitoring the latest fire near Beaurand Estates for hotspots. It says there is no further danger to the public. The fire was first reported Sunday. The county says there were no reported injuries or buildings lost. The acting fire chief is warning people to respect the fire bans and restrictions that have been put in place, especially during the dry and windy spring season. The mayor of Wood Buffalo met with Alberta's transportation minister today about what happened on Highway 63 during last month's snowstorm. The late April snow dump left hundreds stranded on the provincial highway. Wood Buffalo Mayor Sandy Bowman says he wants a fulsome investigation. Transportation Minister Devin Dreeshen says better communication is needed. Bowman says his priority is making sure they're ready for next winter before figuring out who will pay for what.
We need to make sure that doesn't happen again. Once we get through that, an investigation and have a report for council and the public, then we'll look at who's going to pay the bill.
I think how best to be able to put out the information when it comes to those types of snow events coming next winter is going to be good work.
Dreeshen and Bowman also spoke about the regional municipality possibly taking over maintenance for the section of Highway 63 that runs through Fort McMurray. Several gas stations in our city are selling regular gas for nearly $1.90 a litre. Premium and diesel prices are about 10 cents more. Gas prices have gone up and down over the past few weeks, and one economist says prices aren't going to stabilize anytime soon.
If there's a deal to be had, the price will come down. If there's not a deal to be had, that price will continue to go up, especially as we head into nicer weather and everybody wants to get in their car and go somewhere. Don't forget that we're a few weeks away from the first long weekend of the spring-summer season, so we're going to probably see prices rise merely because of that, regardless of what's going on elsewhere in the world.
Moshe Lander says prices will rise depending on the news of the day with the U.S. and Iranian administrations. He says it doesn't matter that Alberta is an oil and gas-rich province because prices are fueled by global forces. While drivers may be frustrated with the yo-yoing of prices, Lander says that volatility is likely to continue for a while.
Even if you open up the strait tomorrow, even if there's a deal to be had, you have to repair all of that infrastructure to get the oil and gas flowing back to its full capacity like it was before. So this is still going to take months before we can see prices come down to where they were 6 months ago. So for anybody who thinks that the moment we have a deal, things go down to $1.20, they will come down. They just won't go down to where you saw them before until everything's back to business as usual.
Lander says all drivers can do at this time is adjust their driving habits. That could mean relying more on walking, biking, ride shares, and public transportation. He says there is no magic time of the week to fill up, and we're at the mercy of whatever the global markets dictate. Neighbors say the demolition of a house in Glenora this morning was illegal because they're actively appealing the infill multiplex plan to replace it. The councillor for the area says under Edmonton's new zoning bylaw, the house should still be standing. City staff will not say whether the demolition broke the law. CTV's Jeremy Thompson has more.
There's now mostly dust and debris on this property in Glenora. It's in line to become a multiplex. In January, a group of neighbors tried to stop the project through the proper channels.
We appealed against the demolition and they turned it down, but then the lawyers for a couple of the neighbors filed an appeal to the appeal court, and that appeal is still pending.
They say tearing the house down now violates the city's zoning bylaw.
Bylaw can 7.1902.1 to be exact.
It states while a development permit is being appealed, all other permits on that property are suspended until the appeal board or court makes its ruling.
As the demolition is occurring, the Court of Appeals is hearing our application to stay the demolition permit.
A worker for the company doing the demolition would not appear on camera, but he told CTV the demolition permit is active.
I called the city and they don't have the correct records. They don't have any record that this is actually the demolition was under appeal, so it's a farce.
I've now looped in our city team on that, and the feedback I got is, this demolition was not supposed to happen, so they're looking at that right now.
In a statement to CTV News, the city acknowledges an appeal is in progress, but did not say whether that means the demolition was illegal. The neighbors know their court challenge could fail, allowing the multiplex to move forward, but they feel cheated.
The process needs to be respected. There are laws. It says very clearly what those laws are. They should be followed.
If the developer is found guilty of demolition without a permit, it faces a $1,000 fine. Jeremy Thompson, CTV News, Edmonton.
An annual fundraiser supporting a local youth group saw a sold-out crowd this afternoon. Canvas of Hope showcased live music and performances by kids, teens, and young adults in the iHuman Youth Society program. Each written piece represents personal stories and experiences. The fundraiser also includes an upcycled denim fashion show featuring Mayor Andrew Knack. The nonprofit works with vulnerable kids and teens in Edmonton and offers programs focused on art, music, and mentorship.
It doesn't just raise money, it also helps bring awareness to what we do. Last year, 2025 alone, we saw over 24,000 youth visits, and we have an annual operating budget of $1.7 million. So the more people that know about what we're doing, the more that we continue to give support and provide resources for the most vulnerable youth in our city.
Funds raised from the event will help grow iHuman programs, giving kids and teens more support, connection, and creative outlets. The 2026 Indigenous Trailblazers Summit brought community voices from across the country together in Edmonton. The two-day summit featured a trade show, panel discussions, and networking opportunities. The event focused on Indigenous innovation and business. Organizers say the goal is to create connections and support Indigenous voices in industry.
It finally gives a space for somebody who spent years dedicating themselves to the work that they do, and then giving them a stage to showcase as to how they got there and the things that they had to go through to get there. That's the significance of it all.
Organizers say the event is fully supported by the business community with no provincial or federal funding involved. Golf season is getting into full swing in our city. The return to the green has Edmontonians divided on whether city-run courses like Victoria Golf Course are the best use of land in the River Valley. CTV's Evan Kenny has more.
Each year, more than 190,000 players use Edmonton's city-run golf courses. Golfers say the three municipal tracks at Riverside, Victoria, and Rundle Park offer something other courses don't.
Golf, especially in the last few years, has gotten quite expensive, especially outside of city courses and municipal stuff.
And for me, I literally live 10 minutes away, so it makes it really easy to just come here and just play around.
It's just a very family-friendly place, eh?
Yeah, it is.
Family-friendly, and it's the heart of Edmonton. It's the heartbeat of golf in Edmonton.
But other Edmontonians don't feel the same.
We have to ask ourselves, is this the best use of land in the River Valley, or should we be doing something else like more park space?
Councillor Michael Jans says he's heard from people wanting to change the city's River Valley landscape.
We need a long-term strategy that looks at the recreation needs of all Edmontonians. How are we doing for green spaces? How are we doing for soccer fields? How are we doing for dog parks or walkable amenities?
Councillor Reed Clark says two of the city's courses, Victoria and Rundle, are already mixed-use parks.
It's got ball diamonds, it's got the skating rink and the whole park there. When you're golfing there's people just going for walks and just checking it out as much as possible.
Clark says these courses are less expensive and more inclusive than many. He'd rather see them celebrated and uses added rather than taken away.
I love that they're city run now and they're open to everybody, so I love that side of it and I wouldn't want to lose it, but I'm always open to looking at options.
Last year, the three courses brought the city nearly $2 million in profits.
We're always talking about expenses and revenue and how do we get more revenue besides just increasing taxes.
Jans wants to discuss the future of these sites during upcoming conversations for Council's recreation amenity strategy. Evan Kenny, CTV News, Edmonton.
Coming up next, a virtual clinic is hoping to help women get the answers they need as they experience menopause. And later in the show, while he's barely taller than the forest floor, a 5-year-old Albertan is in the running for a very big job.
There was a chance to be part of a group of kids around the world who care about protecting nature and the wild spaces, and he got really excited about that.
Good evening, folks. Nice little warm-up today. 20 degrees for a daytime high, and we should see daytime highs close to 20 for the next 5 to 7 days. Morning lows way above the freezing mark. The wind returns for tomorrow, though. Gusty for tomorrow and Friday. Talk about all that in just a few minutes.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Menopause is something many go through, but finding answers and the right medical care in a timely fashion can be a struggle. A new virtual menopause clinic is hoping to help bridge that gap for Albertans. CTV's Amanda Anderson reports.
I started second guessing myself, is this menopause or am I
starting to lose my faculties,
Deb Volrath says the hot flashes, hair loss, and memory issues started about 6 years ago.
People make a lot of jokes about menopause, like, oh, you're going crazy, or you're losing all your hair and stuff like that. Those were actually happening to me.
Answers she and many women struggled to get. As the years passed and symptoms persisted, her frustration grew.
This is a big deal. Every single woman on the planet is going to go through it. And it seems like this big black box that no one talks about.
There's over 34 validated symptoms of menopause.
Dr. Nesha Yüksel says on average, women go through perimenopause and menopause for 7 to 8 years, sometimes longer. How it impacts each woman can vary.
It depends on how much they're affected by those hormone fluctuations. So there are some women who only see menstrual cycle changes and maybe no symptoms. There are women that see menopause symptoms and no cycle changes, and there are women that see both.
She says there are very few specialized menopause clinics in Canada, and the wait to get in can be long. It's why she's part of a local team behind Ethica, a virtual menopause clinic.
We're helping you make sense of your symptoms, what's happening. We're listening, validating, and helping you navigate what would be the best option for you and what care plan would be best for you.
There is a fee to access the service, which could be covered by private health insurance. Its website does include a number of free resources to help answer women's questions about menopause. Volrath says she tried everything, including products claiming to relieve symptoms and balance hormones that popped up on social media. But it was the clinic that changed her life.
I felt like I had the information and the resources to tackle the situation and to start to regain my life. Control over my life, as opposed to menopause having control over me.
Ethica is currently available in Alberta and Ontario, but is expected to expand to other provinces in the coming months. Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Edmonton.
The family of a young boy who drowned in a southern Alberta lake on Sunday says the 12-year-old was trying to create a life for himself in Canada. Damilola Afolabi's family says he was trying to make friends after they moved from Ghana just 2 months ago. He loved riding his bike and enjoying the outdoors in his new community. Afolabi was pulled from Calgary's Mahogany Lake Sunday night and rushed to hospital, where he later died. He did not know how to swim. Afolabi's funeral was held today, and his father is saddened by the loss of his son.
When we are about to leave Ghana, Dami said, "Daddy, me, thank you for the good life you are going to give us in Canada. I didn't know that my son would never be with me at this moment anymore."
There have been 5 drowning deaths in Mahogany Lake since 2013. There are calls for improved safety measures at the lake. Canada's privacy authorities, including Alberta's, say ChatGPT violated privacy laws by scooping up large amounts of sensitive personal information about Canadians.
In particular, we found that OpenAI's collection and use of information to train its models was overly broad, resulting in the collection and use of sensitive personal information.
Privacy watchdogs in Alberta, Quebec, and BC were part of a joint investigation into OpenAI, the company behind ChatGPT. A 3-year investigation showed OpenAI accessed information, including details about children and people's health conditions. Canada's Privacy Commissioner says that case has now been conditionally resolved. He says the company has taken steps to improve user privacy. Statistics Canada says home ownership rates have been declining for 15 years. A new Stats Canada report is called Millennials in the Housing Market. It examines living arrangements across 3 generations. In 2021, fewer than half of millennials owned a home. That's about 6% less than Generation X or baby boomers when they were the same age. About 1 in 6 millennials also lived with at least one parent, twice as many as baby boomers when they were the same age. Coming up after the break, we'll introduce you to a kindergarten student running for a very prestigious scientific position.
It's a hummingbird that is almost the size of a bee, and its nest is as big as a golf ball.
Programming brought to you by Green Tree Outdoor Living, where your dream yard becomes a reality.
Welcome back. 3 degrees this morning, pretty close to average, and then way above average this afternoon. We got to 20 degrees, 5 degrees above seasonal average. And that comes on the heels of 2 cool-ish days. It's 13 on Monday, 12 yesterday. Looks like we're above 15 for daytime highs right through the next 5 to 10 days. Daytime highs somewhere in the 17 to 23 degree range. We did have some scattered showers, even a few isolated thunderstorms in parts of central and north central Alberta. We'll see a bit more of that tomorrow afternoon in through the foothills. Could see a few scattered showers as well in northeastern Alberta. Here in Edmonton, mainly sunny to partly cloudy skies through the day. The big story is going to be the wind by about lunchtime. Gusts will pick up to about 30 or 40 kilometers per hour. That'll stick around through the afternoon. It'll die down in the evening, and then again Friday, a little on the gusty side. As far as precipitation for Friday, well, you can see the jet stream moves off to the northeast here, and right along the jet in northeastern Alberta, overnight Thursday into early Friday morning, we get a chance of some showers, and possibly even on the northern edge of this, as some cooler air starts to drop back into north and northeastern Alberta for Friday, there is even a slight risk you might see some wet flurries there in parts of northeastern Alberta. None of that for the Edmonton region. We'll just stay partly cloudy, it looks like, through the day. Friday, Sunday would be our next best chance at seeing some showers. So could see a little bit of scattered precipitation for Mother's Day. 2 in Fort McMurray tomorrow morning, 2 or 3 degrees as well in east central Alberta. A lot milder as you move further to the west. 8 degrees for Edmonton, 7 tomorrow morning in Grand Prairie, about 6 degrees in Red Deer. Nice afternoon temperatures across the northeast, 17 in Fort McMurray, highs of about 20 or 21 in the Cold Lake region, low 20s in Grand Prairie there with some increase in cloud through the afternoon. A sunny start to the day, though. 20 degrees for Red Deer and Jasper. We'll get some clouds in the morning in Red Deer, but sunshine in the afternoon. Jasper, clouds will thicken up as the day goes on. 18 in Lloydminster, and here in the Edmonton area, we'll get to about 21, maybe even 22. Wind starts to pick up midday, gusts to about 40 kilometers per hour through the afternoon, and another gusty day on Friday, and a little bit of a step back for temperatures. Still above average, but 18 for a daytime high. 19 or 20 on Saturday, that chance of a couple scattered showers, and 22 on Sunday. And long-range forecast keeps temperatures in the high teens or low 20s right through mid-month. That is your forecast.
The Women's Professional Hockey League is expanding next season with a new team coming to Detroit. Detroit hosted the PWHL's first neutral site game during the league's inaugural season in 2024. The addition comes a year after adding franchises in Seattle and Vancouver. The league says it plans to expand into 2 to 4 more markets. A Calgary kindergarten student is hoping his love of nature can propel him to become North America's next junior ranger. CTV's Kevin Green caught up with him as he sits at second place in the competition.
In Griffith Woods Park in southwest Calgary, 5-year-old Jack Lanstra moves quickly through the trees, climbing logs, searching for insects, and talking excitedly about animals, forests, and why he loves being outside. These days, he's learning about bee hummingbirds.
It's a hummingbird that is almost the size of a bee, and its nest is as big as a golf ball. And its eggs are the size of a coffee bean.
Jack also protects the natural spaces he loves, stopping to clean up garbage during walks in the woods.
Me and my grandma were walking, and then when we were walking, we decided to get a garbage bag. So we got a garbage bag and then went for a walk. And we got lots of garbage, that big tire.
Jack is currently in second place across North America in the National Wildlife Federation's Junior Ranger competition. The program, hosted by wildlife expert Jeff Corwin, encourages kids to learn about conservation and protecting the natural world.
So we told him, not about the competition, but that there was a chance to be part of a group of kids around the world who care about protecting nature and the wild spaces, and he got really excited about that.
Jack's mom says his love of nature started early and says he feels most at home outside, reminding his family to slow down and enjoy the forest around them. Jack says for him, the forest is also a keeper of family memories.
I think about my grandpa because he liked trees, and then my mom liked trees, and then I liked trees.
The winner of the Junior Ranger competition receives a cash prize, a feature in Ranger Rick magazine, and an expedition with Jeff Corwin. Kevin Green, CTV News, Calgary.
Thanks for watching us tonight. For the latest news anytime, visit our website, ctvnewsedmonton.ca. Thanks for spending your time here. Have a good night.